Welcome. In front of me is a OPPO A6 Pro, and today I will show you a couple of tweaks and tricks you can do on this device. So let's get started by opening up our settings, and in here I'm going to begin with wallpaper and style, and this will be a general section where you can just customize the look and the feel of your device. So you can choose themes, which we have some right here, or you can basically create your own by changing all of these options right here. Now I'm gonna only talk about a couple of these options right here, not all of them, just because there's plenty of them here. Too much time would be spent to go over them, but we have for instance icons. Here you can choose the icon packs, which there are some that come with the device out of the box, but if you download more, they'll show up right here and can change them, along with having the option to just kind of edit how they look like. So you have a little bit more customization behind them, like showing or hiding the names, increasing, decreasing the name, resizing the icon itself, changing the artwork, and obviously you can also create custom kind of look to your icons in general if you want to. Now in here we also have the colors, which are these kind of accent colors that you can see right here, and you can change them to have the coastal, whatever that is. It's basically the default option, I guess. It probably would be the, even though I'm kind of confused by this, the name, the option is just the default one. But we have the option to also change these colors based on the wallpaper. And holy shit, is my wallpaper blend as hell, considering these are all the colors that I have, which all of them seem to be the shade of the same thing. Which I guess makes sense considering this wallpaper ain't breaking any kind of stereotypes with using, you know, a lot of different colors. It definitely isn't diverse in colors. So in any case, you can see we don't have too many options right here, but depending on the wallpaper that you're using, these will change, and obviously this will impact the look of your entire system. And because it is matching it with the wallpaper that you're currently using, obviously it would be a little bit better fitted to your look of your device right now, concerning the wallpaper. Now another thing in here is going to be the fingerprint animation, which you can see we have a couple different animations to choose from. I do want to point out one thing. If you ever tried, you have the none option right here. This isn't actually a no flashbang kind of option. The flashbang will still be there. Now I do want to point out, because we do have options like these ones, the basically sling ring effect here and some other things. So you can choose these, and this is additional animation after or when it's going through the process of recognizing your finger. Now the process of recognizing your finger is done by this bright freaking light right here. Now the reason I'm pointing that out is because if you ever use this, you probably already had this happen to you, where you just get completely flashbanged at night when you're trying to, you know, unlock your phone with the fingerprint. You kind of miss it just a little bit, and this bright ass light just tries to singe your irises out of your head. Yeah, you can't get rid of that. It's just part of the way the device sees your finger. So it needs to illuminate the shit out of it to see it. And you, if you miss the fingerprint by like a, you know, just a little bit off. So I wanted just to mention that. Now another thing in here is the always on display, which is turned off by default. So if you want to use always on display, you can turn it on in here, and we can customize it with world's least customizable always on display settings. Wow, these are piss poor, to say the least. Jesus. So in any case, we have things like we can hide date, battery, and notifications. These are all enabled by default, and as you can see, if I just get rid of them, it just remains as the time. So anyway, that's about it for the always on display. Let's move on to home screen and lock screen. In here we have a couple things. So there's one that I like, which is the pull down gesture. So actually no, never mind, this isn't this one. Excuse me, am I retarded here? No, this isn't the option that I was looking for, and the reason I'm getting confused by this is because I didn't know this way is up. Or, sorry, this way is down. It's a pull down gesture. Shit, as far as I know, this is pulling down, right? I am physically pulling down. Now, I might be absolutely retarded, which is in the realm of possibilities, but as far as I can tell which way is up. I ain't this retarded yet. So, great. Anyway, so the option that I was actually looking for is the swipe down on home screen. And here they actually know what swipe down is. So, swipe down, pull down are sounding the same. And yet they're in two separate directions somehow. Okay then, anyway, so in here, the swipe down hides a nice option, one that I prefer over the default one, which is the notification and quick settings. So whenever you swipe down now, no matter where you are, and I mean actually like swipe down on your home screen, it will pull down the notifications along with your toggles. And I do much prefer that over the search, considering I have a search right here too. I don't need two different ways to launch the same shit. So that's just much better in my opinion. Much more useful and requires you a less hand gymnastics to reach the top of your screen, which in my book is definitely a positive. Now another thing in here is the animation speed. We have it set to standard. Let's try that again. We have standard and enhanced. That's what I tried to say from the beginning. So the enhanced one will be the increased speed, meaning you will get through animations faster, meaning you will get to your content faster. Now, there's only two options right here, and you actually have the ability to increase this animation speed past what we can do right here, which I'll show you right now, if you want to get that brisky speed. So we're gonna scroll all the way down to about device, and we're gonna be looking for let's see, this is probably gonna be named something stupid here. Is it this? There we go. It's the version number under version. So when you tap on it 7 times, it pops up with this thing. You are now a developer. Now, if you have a screen lock, you will need to confirm it before it enables it. And now when we go back to System and Update, you can see we should have this option visible right here, Developer Options. We're going to click on that, and we're just going to scroll down past like halfway point. We're looking for Transition Animation Scale, Animation Duration Scale, and Window Animation Scale. I probably already passed. Yep, definitely did pass it already. Oh, there we go. It's right here. So you can see we have these 3 options right here, all with the animation scale set to 1x. 1x is a default animation speed. Now we can actually push this faster, so we can set it to 0.5. And you can already see that the window is much faster than it was before. So it's now twice as fast as it used to be. Now you can also completely get rid of this animation if, for instance, you wanted to, and now, as you can see, it's literally instant. So the only thing you're waiting for is now the phone actually, trying to open up whatever you're clicking on. So this will be the delay that you're now waiting for. As I can see that there's just a slither of time before the phone kind of does the thing that you clicked on. It might not be very visible to you. This might seem like it's basically instant, but I can tell you there is several milliseconds of latency before it actually does what you clicked it to do. So I will actually stick with the 0.5. This still retains the animation, and that animation is long enough for the device to actually open up what it's supposed to do, and then it automatically just kind of goes through the animation and everything is already ready waiting for you. So this is a option that I prefer to set it up to, which is a 0.5. Gives you stupidly fast animations, while still retaining them. And this will become a little bit more apparent having animations when you're doing something like, for instance, this. So when you have gesture navigation and you go from this right here, as an example, it's going to be this option, and I believe this one. So you can see we still have animation, but the moment I let it go, it snaps into view, which looks a little bit jarring. Same thing goes right here. There was a bit of glitchiness happening here. This is not what it usually should be doing, and the reason for that is there is two different things: the swipe up to close it, maximize. So it just misses the animation, so it doesn't really know what to do, so it kind of glitches out. So I do personally prefer to have animations enabled to remove this problem. You can see it no longer exists. So there we go. Now let's move back, and under home screen and lock screen, I'm gonna check if there's one more option. Usually there should be, but it looks like it's not here. Well, that's a bummer. So there is one more option in here that I do want to talk about, which is the lock screen magazine. The favorite option for me to hate. So if you don't know what this is, it's this crap right here. Oh, perfect wallpaper. So here we go. We have some random ass woman eating popcorn, looking jolly all happy about it. Now we got a new one. Now imagine that wallpaper shows up and you have a girlfriend or wife, and your piece is now gone. You're now getting bombarded with questions. Who the shit is that? Who is that bitch? So yeah, I prefer to not be bombarded with stupid questions, because the damn device decided to put on some moronic wallpaper that then disappears like I'm trying to freaking hide it. So I would recommend turning that probably off. It's gonna definitely save you from a headache full of problems. Turn off lock screen magazine. Wait. Select your reason for turning it off so that we can improve your experience. Let's see, do we have the reason here? I only wanted to see the wallpapers I have selected. Okay, so we can, I guess, select them. Still prefer not to bother with this. I can select my own wallpapers myself. Thank you very much. I'm not interested in the recommendations. It uses mobile data. I want to turn off whatever. Carousel wallpaper on the... No. I mean, that is probably one that I would be selecting. I don't like it. There's too much game content. No, there's too much problematic content if you have a relationship. And too many ads. Wait, there are ads on here? Oh, that's great. Nothing fills me with joyful, fuzzy feeling inside. Like having a wallpaper of a random ass woman that then I will have problems for, and then maybe getting an ad for it. Fantastic. Thanks. So yeah, I'm just gonna select turn off and piss off with this crap. There we go. That's how I prefer it. So now we don't have this wallpaper carousel, which means I just have a normal wallpaper and I can choose it myself. Now let's go back to the main settings page and now move to the notification and quick settings. And that's actually what I was looking for before, and thought that it's not here, but it's just, let's just say my brain might be a little bit smoother than I would like it to be. So in any case, in here we have the option at the very top, status bar. Now this is a fantastic option. I personally do adore this option, as it allows you to hide useless crap from your status bar, which would include, for instance, things like NFC, which I do find problematic, it being the only goddamn thing turned off right here, because it is enabled by default. Now it sure shit would be helpful if the only effing thing that isn't turned off is the thing that is turned off from being visible here, isn't the one thing that is on. And it's also, I believe, hidden from here by default, so you probably won't be seeing it in your notification or toggles right here. So I don't think it is added by default. The reason I find it problematic is because this is one of the ways, for instance, you can pay for things, and this shit is enabled by default. Great. So anyway, That's one thing. Another one would be things like do not disturb mode. I can just get rid of that. Let's see, anything other useful? We have Bluetooth. That's definitely one thing that I would like to get rid of. And Wi-Fi, which isn't present right here for some stupid reason. But Bluetooth and other things you can turn off. So that's obviously pretty nice. Now the reason I like to turn it off is because I know it's enabled. I literally never turn it off. And I did set it up, so yeah, it needs to be enabled because that's how I want it. But what I don't want is it to be visible in my status bar, letting me know that it's running in the background. Like, no shit. That's literally what I wanted to do. I just don't need to have it visible that it's doing what it's supposed to be doing. So I like to turn it off. Another thing in here you can also customize is the battery style. We have several different styles, but I want to point out right now you can see the percentage is inside of the battery. We can change that. So we can have it outside or just not visible at all, or inside like it is. And the inside option is only going to be visible in the horizontal battery. Any other option that you select right here will not be able to have the battery percentage inside of the battery. Obviously, the don't show battery would imply that too. So as an example, if I changed it to vertical, you can see automatically it's moved outside. And well, the option to select where the percentage is just gone. It's just a toggle, show or don't show. So there we go. So I'm gonna stick with the default options. There we go. And another cool thing in here is the notification icons. We can have it show as icons, as a number, or just don't show them. I personally like the number, as this will show me the total number of notifications I have by swiping down right here. And it's just obviously much more useful to me than seeing 3 different icons for 3 applications and then 3 dots for everything else. Those 3 dots mean absolutely nothing because I have no idea if I have 100 notifications or just one more. I'd like to know exactly how many I have, so number obviously solves that. Now if we move over to the, where is it? Display and brightness, there we go. At the very top we have the light and dark mode. Cool. Anyway, moving on, we have the schedule mode below that. Now that mode is a little bit more interesting, as when enabled, it allows you to have a light and dark mode switch from one to another based on sunset to sunrise or custom timer. Right now it's winter, so it gets dark at like 4 p.m. so right about now. So it should already be getting, moving into the dark mode, but based on the custom timer, and I think also sunset to sunrise, it does switch to dark mode at 10 p.m. instead. So you can see it right here. So that's a nice option in general anyways, but moving on, we have the screen refresh rate right here, and we have a couple options. Now I like the fact that nowadays most devices just have 2 options, because that's really the 2 options that are usable. So the ones that we have right here are just kind of freaking stupid. So the auto select is the one that most of us will want to use anyway, and one that actually comes enabled by default, which is good. Another option below that is the standard one. Now auto select runs up to 120 frames per second, the display meaning. So it gets you this nice buttery smooth motion, while standard runs up to 60 frames. So less frame rate, meaning less strain on the processor and less battery consumed because of that. So these are the only 2 options you should ever consider. High basically does the same thing as auto, like literally the same thing. Before, you would have it high be running permanently at 120, but if you can read right here, which I apparently can, it says refresh rate up to 120 frames, which just happens to be the same thing that auto select does, meaning that one of these options is absolutely useless. Great. So going to this and kind of finalizing the refresh rate section here, select whichever option you like more in terms of how it looks like. But if you don't see a difference between them, so when scrolling up and down, you don't see that choppiness when you have it set to standard, then I would say stick with the standard. It will get you better battery life, removes the smooth refresh rate, the nice motion clarity that you get with it, but if you can't really see the benefit from it, then it really doesn't matter. But what will matter is the battery life, so you can select that. And there's one more thing in here that I find sometimes useful. Probably not a lot of people will though, but I do want to still talk about it. It's the full screen for apps. Now in here we have two options. So we have the default and hide front camera, or we have, what is it, like a reversed one? Full screen display on, full screen display off. Okay. Oh, this is for like the very stupid apps that, yeah. Anyway, so in here, if we go into the apps, well, we have very low selection of apps. Let's see the other one. Oh, great, none. Okay. So in any case, hopefully, when you have an application that uses this wrong, you will find it in here. Now, one application that I know for a fact that I found use for this kind of feature was Steam Link. When connecting to my computer through my phone and just having, you know, my computer screen visible on my phone, what it would have done is display the content basically all the way up to the camera, but have this black bar right here, basically this kind of look. I don't really care for that. I would much rather have the Steam Link and therefore also the computer content take the entirety of my screen. I mean, shit, I paid for the whole screen. I might as well use the whole screen, right? Instead of having some black bar covering portion of it. So you can select it right here. And basically by going in here and selecting the application, you can change how it's going to be displaying the content. And you can force it to be like this, meaning that the content will be cutting into the top and you will have this black little dot, meaning your camera, like we have right here, that will be visible in that content. Personally, I prefer that more just because I now have more screen real estate compared to just having a black bar, and black bar just freaking annoys me, so I like to get rid of it. Anyway, so that's basically all the things that I wanted to show you. So anyway, if you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and thanks for watching.